So we all know about TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. And I mentioned briefly in a previous video, CRAs, Consumer Reporting Agencies. These are your LexisNexis, Innovis, etc. Okay, we're going to do a deep dive into consumer reporting agencies on this episode because it's important that we know exactly what they are, where they came from, and why are they on our ass all the time. Let's go. And I brought my notes. I am prepared. Okay, so even though they are called consumer reporting agencies, they are not to protect the consumer. Never, okay? They're to further protect the companies and the entire financial system with the credit reporting status. Because again, remember, this is where the credit bureaus get their information from. This is how they're able to validate addresses, employment, accounts, inquiries. This is where they get everything about you from, babe. They don't know shit about you without them. Okay? Also, before I forget, I have templates. I have templates to dispute everything. Your credit to go against the CRAs, to go against literally everything. And they start like $5.99. So, get there. All right. Anyway, so CRAs, they were primarily built for banks and lenders and industries like the credit bureaus, the three main ones. Not to protect people, so their name is very much misleading. So, the entire system is built on data collection, data analyzing, not accuracy. And I think we know that. Your credit report does not measure how trustworthy of a person you are. It is a way to see like how much of a risk you are to this lender. Are you a risk? Are you safe? That's essentially what they're looking at. So, credit bureaus and CRAs initially began as private gossip networks for banks. So they were started by the banks, okay? Who started the banks? All right, so originally created to track risky customers. They wanted to keep an eye on who the fuck is not paying their bills. That's why they started. And it was not regulated until the 70s with the FCRA when they came into play. So the real customer has always been the lenders, not the consumers. You are the product. That's all. All right. So, again, data harvesting, data collecting, that is the big thing. They don't verify your data. They don't give a fuck about verifying your data. They don't care if it's true or not. They just want to collect it. They furnish it. They send it to whoever is requesting it. They sell your data. So, again, from who? Banks, lenders, landlords, debt collectors, everybody. 70% of credit report errors come from furnishers, not consumers. That's why the credit repair business will forever be a go, because they get so much shit wrong and they don't care that they're wrong. They don't care. You have to let them know this is wrong. Again, my templates. So inaccurate data they don't care. Okay, so Oscar and disputes. This is the truth about why typical letters get ignored in the dispute process. Oscar is an automated dispute system. This is software that the credit bureaus use. 80 to 90% of disputes never get seen by a human. They run your shit through a software, okay? They run it through the computer. CRAs, consumer reporting agencies, reduce your dispute to a 2 or 3 digit code. So they run it through, it gets sent to CRAs, and they identify it with a code. They stamp a code on it. Furnishers simply verify the data, even if it's wrong. Even if it's wrong. Online disputes waive several rights, which is why you want to do the letters. Of course, they market it to you. Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, they have it online. There's a reason. It waives your rights. Don't do online disputes. Do the letters. I have the letters. It has everything in it, round by round by round, on my website. You can literally do this yourself, and you need to do it yourself so you can learn. You shouldn't have to pay someone every time something happens, because when we get our credit right, usually we use the fuck out of it or we use it and things happen. Life comes up, so we end up fucking up again. Not even fucking up, just doing shit. It's not even a bad thing. But either way, you don't want that to follow you, right? So you need to know how to do this. Get some templates. Okay. Many reinserts happen without notice. What is a reinsert? That is when you get an account removed. Say you had an old cell phone bill on your credit report with TransUnion and you were able to successfully get it removed. Whether you called them, did the online, or the letter dispute, you got it removed. Reinsertion is when it backs up on your credit report. And I know we've seen that. We've heard of that happening so many times. And I have a template for that as well. The templates are everything I use in my credit repair business. But they happen, and they happen without notice. The only time that you're notified of a reinsertion is when you get that email from Credit Karma or whatever credit monitoring system you're using. Or when you go apply for something and they're like, oh no, your score is not what you said it was. And this is exactly why. And you're like, no, that's not supposed to be there. It's usually when a lot of people get notified. But the reason is because you're not fighting the actual credit bureaus. You're fighting an algorithm. Don't do the shit online, okay? Send it in. eOscar. That is the automated dispute system that the credit bureaus have in place, and they run your shit through. And that is the reason why the majority of letters and whatever else don't get through, because they're not worded correctly. They're not saying the right shit. So they assign it a code, and the code dictates if it gets deleted or not. All right. So how do consumer reporting agencies profit off of your data? Because they sell it. They do. All right. They sell data to lenders, insurers, employers, and marketing firms. I had 2 jobs do a credit check. 2 jobs. They were not government jobs. Both of them were previously government jobs, but they were no longer associated with the government anymore. But they still did those checks, which was weird. But they do. Insurance companies do credit checks. And when you get into MyFICO and the different type of scores and the scoring methods and models and what they use to dictate your score and build your reports, you have an insurance score that is separate from your credit score. So when you go request a policy, a quote, they can look up and see what your insurance score is. That's where they get it from. They get it from right here. They're selling your data. Anyways. So they sell it. They don't care if it's accurate. Remember that. They're profiting off of volume, not accuracy. So consumers have hold on. Thank you. So that leaves consumers with essentially no ownership of our own financial identity. Errors equal money. More accounts is more money. More inquiries is more money. So every time you apply for something, they're getting paid because you're creating a data point. It's a data point. It is a hard inquiry. They're having to run your shit through multiple systems, and they're pulling the information from multiple systems. They get paid. Even if you get denied, they still get paid. And when the debt collectors are on your ass, you better believe they're getting paid. All right, so the big consumer reporting agencies, who are they and what do they do? All right, LexisNexis. They're fucking massive. They have everything on you. Everything. Public records, bankruptcy information, every job you've ever had in your fucking life. Even if you were thinking about applying somewhere, they probably have that too. They have your phone numbers. They have your addresses. Even if you were not a resident on a lease, they still probably know that you were there. Especially if you got mail there. They have every fucking thing. They have accounts. They have utilities. They have... LexisNexis is like the big one. Okay? They're fucking massive. Okay. And then you have SageStream. Innovis. They're kind of like the same thing as LexisNexis, just on a smaller scale. But they're still big. They're still big. Don't get me wrong. Check systems. I mentioned this. This is why people can't get a bank account. You owe a bank that doesn't even exist anymore $10 and they closed your account. And you thought, oh, well, the bank closed. No, because banks usually don't close. They end up merging with another bank, or they're bought out in an acquisition. That even if they do close and just disappear, say that just happens, your information is still going to show up in check system as a debt owed. Okay, so that's going to block you from opening a real account. You need to have a real bank account in 2025 and 2026 as an adult. Cash App and Chime don't fucking count. And whenever I said this in the video, people got so mad. They got so mad. Like I'm just saying they're bad or they're not real banks. They're not bad. I use Cash App to move money. Okay? I have one. I don't have Chime. But either way, they're not bad banks. And they are banks. They're not going to finance you a fucking car. Okay? You can't buy a house with Cash App. Okay? You can't get no real money with Cash App as your primary bank. They are going to look at Cash App on an application and not take you serious and probably deny your application because banks don't like Cash App. They don't like Chime. So much fraud and scamming happens on both of those platforms. They do not like them. They don't like them. They say they won't do business with you more than likely if that is your primary bank. Moving on. Check system. And then Clarity Services. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot. And then ARS. There's so many. But they're, regardless of the name of them, their job is to collect data. Okay? There's one for utilities. There's one for evictions. And I mentioned all this in the video. There's one for everything that you could ever fucking think of. A consumer reporting agency exists for that purpose. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Which is why I'm going off topic. Let me see. Okay, I'll wait. I don't want to go off topic. All right, so furnishers. These are people that you had accounts with previously. They are the ones deciding what gets reported. Say you went and got furniture from like Aaron's or some bullshit. That is a furnisher. If you had an account with T-Mobile, they're a furnisher, you know? So they can... So when you're disputing, you send disputes to the main credit bureaus, of course. And then after your first or second round, you start sending those disputes to the actual furnishers, the ones that hold that account. Okay, whether it's T-Mobile, Verizon, Aaron's, Rent-A-Center, it doesn't matter. You send it to them because they are the ones that ultimately confirm or deny. They verify that if that debt exists or don't, okay? Anyways, the majority of the time, though, when you do that, you're sending it to their corporate office. You're not sending it right to the one that you did your business with. You're sending it to the corporate office. And the majority of the time, they confirm it anyways. They validate that debt, even without looking at it. Because, again, that equals money. And of course, collection agencies use it as leverage. So, collection agencies. Let's talk about them very briefly because I don't want to get off topic, but it's happening. All right, collection agencies do not validate a fucking debt over the phone. Do not. I don't even know why people are answering their phone for random ass numbers at this point. You shouldn't even be answering the phone if you don't recognize the number. Do not validate a debt over the phone. Don't even confirm your name because they're going to ask for your name and then you don't say, yes, this is she. No, you say, may I ask who's calling? And they may not even say the company name. They may just say their name. Oh, this is Sarah Smith. Okay, may I ask who you're calling with or for or what company or what is this in regards to? And they're going to say something like, well, I need to know if this is Mandisa Wynn before I can verify any other information. Or if you say, well, what company are you with? Oh, I'm calling with Midlands Credit or some, you know, like the debt collection agency name. And you can be like, oh, no, this is not she. You have the wrong number. Tell them that. Exactly. Verbatim. You have the wrong number. And then if they keep calling, and again, all this is in my templates. If they keep calling, you can fucking sue them. And you should. Because that's an easy lawsuit. They're violating TSR regulations. This is why I created the templates. I feel like the templates are going to help more people than having to pay a monthly subscription for the service. You get what I'm saying? The templates are going to help. It's literally step by step. But okay, moving on. Your credit score. Your credit score. People get so caught up on the actual numbers. And I'm not saying they don't matter at all, but your report matters more than your score ever fucking will. I set my teens up. They're in the 700s and 800s. Them motherfuckers don't know shit about credit. I mean, they know what I tell them. They do. I'm not going to say that. I shouldn't say that. But they are very young and have a very high credit score with no fucking history outside of what I have done for them. Okay? So the score doesn't really matter as much as the report matters. I've seen people get denied with 750s for a credit card. And people get approved with a 650. And a lot of the reasons behind that, like Chase, you should not apply more than within 2 years of another application. It doesn't even matter if it's with them or not, because they look at you as being desperate. Or if you have no history, or if you don't have many revolving accounts, not even many, but just like a car, a credit card, a loan, a mortgage, you know, say if you just have a car on there, they're going to look at you a little crazy. But anyways, the score measures profitability, risk, how much interest you can be charged, because interest is huge. That can take your payments, your car over the financing terms, paying $5,000 over asking or MSRP to fucking $50,000. That's extreme, but $15,000 for sure. You know, due to the interest rate, and your interest rate is based off your credit score, so it does matter. And of course, likelihood of default or repossession or eviction. Okay, so huge FCRA violations that people don't realize they can sue for. I've sued credit bureaus and won. I've sued for myself and I've sued for my clients. Of course, easy. Reporting inaccurate information. Duh. Failure to investigate disputes, because a lot of this shit is automated. It's automated. It's very rarely that a human actually reads your letter. Everything is automated and sent to folders and files. It's rare there's human interaction. Reinsertion without notice. Remember we talked about reinsertion? Mixed files. Incorrect personal information. Failure to correct after being notified. Incomplete investigations. And furnishers failing to update the status. So what can you sue for? $1,000 per violation plus damages. That adds up quick, because usually if they're violating one of these, they're violating at least 3 or 4 of them. Okay? So, real quick, getting off topic once again, but it's very helpful. Personal information. That has to be fixed before you dispute anything else. Again, this is in my templates. It's in my templates. It's in my templates. Go get my fucking templates, because this is in there. You need to correct the personal information before you ever start trying to correct the accounts on your credit reports. That matters most. Where do you get free credit reports? All 3 bureaus. Annualcreditreport.com. Credit Karma give you 2. Okay? Most free and low places give you 2. My FICO is a great resource. They have the scores that lenders fucking use, because there's a difference between the Vantage score and the FICO score. The FICO score is the most accurate and the ones that lenders use. You literally look at your My FICO score and the lender will have the exact same report and the exact same score. Especially when you're buying a house, you get My FICO. When you're in the home buying process or you're trying to get there, you get My FICO. It is $40 a month, but that is the one that lenders use. It is worth it, but I would only get it if I'm trying to apply for something big, like a house, you know? Other than that, annualcreditreport.com. It doesn't even have your score. Hold on. Okay, I don't even think it has your score on there, but again, your reports matter more than your scores. If you know your reports are fucked up, your score's fucked up too. So you shouldn't even be worried about it. Either way, you dispute the incorrect personal information. Ideally, your credit report should have one name, one address, wherever you get mail at, one employer, and that's it. One email and one phone number. If you want, you don't even have to give them your email, but your phone number. So that's all that should be on your credit report. I don't give a fuck if you lived at them places. Get them off. Say you didn't. Do what you got to do, okay? Do what you have to do to get the shit off of the report. And again, my templates are, this is step 1. This is round 1. You focus on personal information and getting it removed. Because if your personal information is not there, a lot of accounts are tied to old addresses. So if those old addresses don't exist on your report, excuse me, it's easier to get the shit removed. Follow me. They can't pull and see that, oh, it said she lived at this address, but this isn't on her report. So that account must not, we can't prove that it even is validated or verify that it's hers because she don't have the address on her report. She's not been associated with that address. So this must be someone else's. Delete. Gone. Wash your fucking hands. Easy peasy lemon motherfucking squeezy. Okay? Moving on. I got off topic again. So, why do people lose in the credit game? Why does the average person lose and resort to having to pay someone to fix their credit? They dispute online. They dispute online. Don't do that. You're waiving a lot of your fucking rights when you dispute online. Don't do that. They don't freeze secondary bureaus. Who are the secondary bureaus? The CRAs, the consumer reporting agencies, are the secondary bureaus because that is who the main bureaus pull to get your information from to verify and validate the accounts and information on your credit report. Okay? So, with LexisNexis, SageStream, Innovis, Check Systems, once you go in there, you treat them like the credit bureaus, okay? You treat them just like them. You go to those websites. You go to those websites and you request your report. Request it. You can get it emailed, but for fuck's sake, get one mailed to you as well. Get one mailed, and then you can request one for email. You want to create a paper trail, I'm telling you. So once you get the one by email, because it's a lot faster, you can start the work there. You go through and dispute anything that's old, anything that's not accurate, anything that's not yours. Get it off. Okay? Dispute that information. Dispute with them first. And again, the credit bureaus, if it doesn't exist there, they can't pull that information. They can't verify that account, so it has to fall off. Okay? Stick with me. So you dispute with them. Once you dispute and get that, say you got your LexisNexis cleared of all bullshit, that it is no longer relevant to you, you freeze it. Part 1 is to dispute the shit on the consumer reporting agencies. Part 2 is to freeze it. You freeze it. So whenever anyone, and it's not even just about the credit bureaus, the main ones. It could be a lender. Okay? It's frozen. So they can't verify anything, especially the credit bureaus. They can't verify it. Go and fucking freeze it. Step 1 is dispute with a consumer reporting agency. Step 2 is to freeze it. Step 3 is to opt out. Opt out. So they cannot share your information with anyone else. Okay? Dispute, freeze, opt out. Thank you. All right. Man, I got off topic again. Fuck. They don't understand furnishers. They don't understand the credit game period. Which is why the average person sucks and has to go out and pay, because they don't suck, but they suck at understanding the process, because it's really only important when they want to go apply for something, right? They don't follow up with credit monitoring or even know what their score is. They just assume that it's okay. They don't use the right laws, because the FCRA is just one. There's 3 that you can pull laws from to protect you. Okay, so you're not using the right language, the right wording, or the right laws. And that gets a lot of people. And then with the debt collectors, people allow themselves to get bullied or to agree to pay some shit over the phone. They tell them they have the right number. They agree. They validate the debt. They do the work for them. Don't do that. And they always have to pay someone to do it themselves. or to do it for them. So you don't even know what's going on behind the scenes. You're going to go to pay someone every time? Why not just use templates that you pay $5 or $6 for, $8 maybe. Oh, those are my home care and staffing. I think these are $5 or $6, and you keep forever. Anytime some shit don't look right, you're going through your templates and you're sending it off. Use the templates. So how do you beat the system? Dispute, freeze, and opt out of your secondary bureaus. Right? Right. Mail your disputes. You don't do the online shit because you're waiving your rights. Don't do online disputes. You cite specific violations. You have to keep up, okay? You have to keep up. And what I mean by keeping up is whenever they respond to your round 1 letter or round credit dispute letter, whenever they respond to it, they're telling you exactly what is going to stay and what's going to be removed. And they have to say why it's going to stay. And if you ask them that it's been validated, okay, but validated by who? Who validated this debt? Usually the furniture, and you reach out to the furnisher and say, hey, they said you validated this debt. I'd like to know how you validated it. Yeah. Request copies. I need a copy of the original contract with my signature on it. I need a copy of all payment history that you have. That came from me, supposedly from me. I need copies of everything with my signature on it. I need to know exactly how you validated this account. They're going to back the fuck off, I promise you, because they don't have a lot of the shit you're going to ask for. Again, in my templates. Okay. Method of verification. Again, in my templates, that's going to help you. They don't remove old addresses and personal information first. You're constantly going to be playing catch up or not getting anywhere, going in circles with the credit bureaus if you don't focus on personal information first. And lastly, they don't document anything. You have to keep up. You said, oh, well, this date you sent me this and I got this and you told me to respond and send this and I did and I still haven't heard back. So you need to keep up with that shit. Create a paper trail because accuracy is your weapon. The paper trail is your fucking armor. Because I act like I'm going to war with the credit bureaus. Yeah. And I'm creating something else I can't tell you. But I will show proof of the settlements I received from the credit bureaus. Because it's there. And it's exciting. All right. Closing out. I hope this has been beneficial. I hope you learned from it. And I hope you go get my fucking templates. So you can learn how to do this yourself. Because even if you have the money to pay someone else to do it, are you not going to teach this to your kids? Are you not going to have this in place for your children in case someone else needs it, or a member of your family or a loved one? Why not? Why should you always have to pay someone for something that you can do yourself? And it really doesn't take that much time. The process takes a little bit of time, but actually doing the work does not. We're adults. It's time to learn to do it yourself so you can progress on your time and not anyone else's. All right. So I've been speaking about my templates, right? So I have a full category dedicated to this because I've done this business for years and I'm not doing it anymore. I am not. I'm doing templates instead. So I have 3 separate parts of templates. This is one of them. Consumer protection and legal is a dedicated section. You can get them all or you can get them one by one, whichever. But anyways, it has all this stuff in it and it will help you and you will learn the process and you will fix your own shit every single time. Okay. So yeah, educate yourself because the system benefits and profits off of your confusion and ignorance. That's all I got. Love you. Bye.